If you're needing someone, I just wanna let you know, no matter where you go, you will never be alone, be alone, be alone, yeah. I just wanna let you know, no matter where you go, you will never be alone, be alone. I know what it feels like to be on your own. Let me be the North Star guiding you home. Follow me, follow me. I know that it's hard to think of better days. Let me be the sunshine, brighten up the way. Follow me. 'Cause I just want you to know you are never alone. I just want you to know
work in progress. In fact, it is a work in progress because, as I say, they're coming from their ridings from across Alberta. My favorite from our constituency is Anne McCormick. She's driven from Lloydminster today to be here to support. Yes, yeah, let's hear it for Anne McCormick. Yes, she's driven from Lloyd to be part of this great team. So, pardon me? Yeah. All the if you could herd the candidates up onto the stage, that would be good. We'd like to have all the candidates on the stage. All the candidates except Maxime. He can come up later. Okay. Thanks for telling me. And actually, if you would do me a favor, they say they're having a hard time hearing me. If somebody in the back row, if you can hear me, give me a wave. And if you can't hear me, yeah, there we are. You can hear me. But if it gets to where you can't, we don't want you to take time out of your busy lives and then not be able to hear us. So, by all means, we'll give that to Grant Kleiber. By all means, if you can't hear, we might as well just stop and fix the sound system because we don't want to waste our time and we certainly don't want to waste your time. So I think we're all here. The candidates are making the way up onto the stage. So let's get started. I'm Danny Hozak and I'm going to be your MC for tonight. And I just want to start by thanking, give yourselves a warm round of applause for what you're doing for our province. Just like, yes, we are. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think the purple wave is coming to Strathmore and it's coming to Alberta and I guess it'll be all across Canada by Monday. So let's get started. One of my favorite quotes is from Pericles, one of the Greek leaders, and he said, "Friends, when you look out over this great country that we all love, remember that it was built by men and women who knew their duty and had the courage to do it." Well, clearly, you folks know your duty because you're here. And I guess what we want to talk about tonight is whether collectively we all have the fact that we're all here, I think, means that we all know our duty. The question, I guess, that we're trying to answer over the next 72 hours is, as a team, do we have the courage to get from where we are to where we need to be to win? And in a few minutes, we're going to introduce three of our speakers, but one of the things that's becoming clear as the campaign wears on is that Maxime has put together a team of people that obviously know their duty. They have their courage, and it does take. Let's give them all our candidates a hand for having the courage to put their name in. The other thing that Maxime's team has, that our team has, that I think is going to be what gets us across the finish line to victory, is not only do they have courage, but they actually have a wide range of life experience. Patrick Moore, who's going to be speaking a little bit later, was speaking at one of our conferences a few months back, and he said, if you study how we're being governed, we are increasingly being governed by people who have never studied anything in their life except how to get elected. And quite frankly, one of them just brought in mask mandates sometime in the last 48 hours, but that's sort of a different election. I guess we should stick to this one. But nevertheless, we are being governed by people who have never thought about anything except getting elected. And Maxime has put together a team that have not only thought about getting, yes.
We've got people in the parking lot honking their horns so that we can't hear you. So if you guys can turn it up a bit louder, that would be great.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll do the best we can. She said we have people in the parking lot honking their horns so that you folks can't hear. So we'll do our best to keep the noise. We'll keep our sound up. But yes. You know. See, now they're starting to figure out what we know is the purple wave is coming to Alberta, and they're worried and they're honking their horns. Yes. So what I was saying before we were interrupted by horns honking was that Maxime has put together a team of candidates that I think is one of the best that they've ever put forward, and they've got a wide range of experience and ability and life experiences. And I'm going to call on my friend, the main person that's done the bulk of the work to make all this happen here is Strathmore's Brad Cliver, and he's going to come up and we haven't got time to let all the candidates speak, so I'm hearing a vibe, but is everybody hearing it all right out there? But anyway, we haven't got time to let all the candidates speak, but we want to introduce each of them. Brad will introduce them, where they're from, and they'll all give you a wave. It'll take a few minutes, but we'll introduce each candidate. They can step forward, give them a wave, and you give them a warm round of applause. That doesn't seem that easy to say from up here, but in any event, when Grant introduces them, please welcome them to Strathmore. Grant, where is Grant? Oh, here's Grant. He'll introduce our candidates.
Thanks, Dan. I was standing behind the speakers. Okay, can you hear me there now? Okay, well, the sound was a little distorted there, and did somebody say there was horny people in the parking lot? They should tell them this is a political deal. And by the way, folks, I see a few of you that are only 5 feet 11 and a half inches apart. So spread it out. We don't want to be lawbreakers here. Okay, I'm going to introduce our candidates. First of all, yeah, folks, if you want to move over here so the horns don't bother you, just gravitate over here and it should be better for you.
It stopped.
I'm 70 years old. All I heard was a peep. Anyway, from Red Deer Mountain View, we've got Kelly Lorenz. Kelly. From Banff Airdrie, we've got Nadine Wellwood. Now that's enthusiasm. From Calgary Shepherd, we got Ron Ballant. Calgary Midnapore, we've got Jonathan Hagel. Calgary Heritage, Bailey Bedard. From Bow River, no, I'm going to make him last. From Lethbridge, Kimmy Hoven. From Calgary Skyview, Harry Dillon. All right. From Calgary Nose Hill, Kyle Scott. Calgary Confederation, Edward Gadd. Calgary Forest Lawn, Dwayne Holub. From Medicine Hat, Alberta, which actually, that's where my family originally came from. We used to be, anybody know a place called Little Plume? Yeah, neither do I. Anyway, from Medicine Hat, Cardston, Warner, Brody, Heidinger. From Lakeland, Ann McCormick. And of course, from Bow River, our own man, Mr. Jonathan Bridges. All right, give them all a good applause and thank them for doing what they're doing. Thanks, Jonathan.
Again, thanks everybody for coming out tonight. I didn't know how many to expect. It's a big crowd. I'm happy to see everybody. I just wanted to take a few minutes and give a little bit of background on myself and why I'm doing this. So, background on myself. I'm a family man. I've got 4 kids at home and 1 more on the way. My wife has made many sacrifices so that I could be out here tonight to do this and to have been driving around this great riding for the last month. I've worked as a heavy equipment technician for almost 15 years, so I'm a common guy. I know what you guys go through every day. I've been to the point where I didn't have enough money at the end of the month, and there was too much month left. So if I'm in the House of Commons and I say I know what it's like to be a middle-class Canadian, I really know what it's like. I've been there, I've done that. When it comes to why I'm doing this, at the beginning of this year, I stopped and thought about some things, and I seriously contemplated leaving Canada. I did not like where my country was headed, but I looked around the world, and I couldn't find a country that was worth going to. So then I started thinking, well, maybe this whole independence thing is something to look at. But my heart did not like that. My family's been in Canada for over 7 generations. My parents came from the Prince Edward Island, and I've driven across this country 5 times to go visit relatives and see the sights, and really enjoy this country. I love Canada. I do not want to see my country torn apart. So I think I speak for all of the candidates up here, and for all of the candidates in the PPC, when I say our goal, my goal, is to reunite Canada and stop all the division, stop all the hate. For too long we've seen it where Quebec is pitted up against Alberta, or it's the East against the West, it's the power struggle, as if for some reason those people in Ontario aren't as smart as us. It's not true. We're all Canadians. I would bet that if you put just about any average Canadian from one end of the country in a room with somebody else from the other end of the country, they likely agree on at least 80% of their ideals and what it is to be a Canadian. So stop letting the government or the media or whatever it is, stop letting this division happen. Let's bring Canada together.
One last thing. I want to apologize for setting up the stage so that you have to face into the sun, but there's a method behind the madness. With the sun where it is right now, only the cool people that wear glasses, sunglasses, you guys look so cool. And it's only because I put the stage here. PPC is cool.
Thank you. To give our candidates might as well get a seat. We've got 3 of the best speakers in the free world coming in the next 45 minutes, so they might as well get a seat so they can listen to them as well. Our first speaker is going to be Dr. Patrick Moore. For those of you who don't know him, Dr. Moore was one of the original founders of Greenpeace. In the 70s, they actually, between him and his group, they actually stopped the atmospheric testing of nuclear bombs, and they saved the whales by stopping the unregulated killing of the whales. And so Patrick Moore is actually a living proof, and he may or may not talk about this. He just got in this afternoon, even though we've become good friends. I don't exactly know what he's going to tell you tonight, but I do know one of his favorite speeches is he talks about how he and his half a dozen little ragtag army in a small little boat literally changed the course of history by getting the message out, by working together, and they did it. I think they did it before social media. Like, what did you guys do it by fax machine when you were changing the world? Yeah, no, but in any event, please, Patrick Moore really has changed the world, and the reason he's here tonight is he certainly, like us, understands that the world needs a lot of changing, and he's going to bring his experience on how he did it and why he thinks we should be supporting Patrick Moore. So please welcome Dr. Patrick Moore.
I have time to print this out.
It's not your guys' yeah. It's like, come on, it's the little things that
Actually,
count.
normally I speak off the cuff, but I wanted to get my words just exactly right. Normally I speak off the cuff, but I wanted to get my words exactly right, so I'm going to read it to you today. I spent over 50 years, it kind of gives me away here, but fighting for various humanitarian and environmental causes around the world.
Gonna move me back a little bit. I always was a sort of forward-looking guy. How's that? All right. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about me here. You can read about me in my books if you look up my name, Patrick Moore, and I got videos all over the place. So
Sitting over there.
try it there. Woohoo! Woohoo! Go away!
I had to get the.
Maybe that truck will rear end him. Maybe they're friendly, who knows?
It's nice CPC blue.
So anyways, my little bitty today is that, you know, there's nothing like a new grassroots movement emerging from the body politic of a nation. And that's what we have right here, is a new grassroots movement, and I've been through a few of them in my life, and this one feels just as good as the rest did. It is not often that a person of integrity and intellect arrives in the political arena at a time when corruption has become the norm. When political elites, such as the deep state in the United States and the Laurentian elite in Canada, seek absolute authority over individual and minority rights, such individuals are a precious commodity. We are blessed to have a person in Maxime Bernier who delightfully refers to himself as an Albertan from Quebec. In just 3 words, he bridges the chasm between central and western Canada. Speaking of this chasm, the biggest obstacle to unity in our country is the undisputed fact that despite there being 10 provinces and 3 territories, it requires the consent of only 2 of the provinces to rule the day. This is a functional, ridiculous situation and cannot be repaired by talk. It has to be repaired by action and some reform. I don't need to tell you which 2 they are either. Despite 2 attempts to adopt a formula to amend our Constitution to rectify this overwhelming imbalance, there is no solution in sight. Such a solution must be found if we are to prevent the ultimate breakup of our country. We find ourselves in a situation where there is virtually no policy distinction among the 5 leaders, in quotes, who engaged in a rigged debate last week, which, as you know, explicitly excluded Maxime. I encourage everyone to watch the recent video of Jordan Peterson interviewing Rex Murphy on this debacle. All 5 of these leaders agree that there is a thing called the climate emergency. Now every extreme weather event is blamed on our use of fossil fuels, despite the fact that extreme weather events are not increasing at a global level. Many of us know that the so-called net zero policy on energy supply will effectively end civilization as we know it, and will have absolutely no effect on the weather, except to make us more vulnerable to its extremes. Because we have reliable and affordable energy, we have been able to build infrastructure that is resilient to most extreme weather, so that deaths from such events have been reduced globally by 90% during recent decades. And fossil fuels play a major role in that. Canada is the coldest country in the world, colder than Russia by a little bit, with an average temperature of minus 5.4 degrees centigrade. and our politicians are pushing the idea that Canada will get too hot. This is patently ridiculous in the extreme. The people in India and Nigeria and Brazil and Saudi Arabia are less concerned about global warming than Canada is. And we are the coldest country in the world. Let them worry about it if they want to. We don't have to. All the leaders in the debate also agree on many of the draconian measures that had been taken during the COVID pandemic. The two most egregious are the refusal to recognize that survivors of the virus have better immunity than those who've had the two vaccines. I've actually had both, the COVID and the two vaccines, but that's just me. I'm not trying to tell anybody else what to do. And the conversion of those who don't wish to be vaccinated into second-class citizens and worse. It has always been a legal and medical right for individuals to consent to any medical treatment, whether it be surgery, medication, or vaccination. It is interesting that while all persons with any humanitarian bone in their body are disgusted by the recent events in Afghanistan, some members of the Democrat Party and the Liberals in Canada have referred to the Taliban as, quote, our brothers, unquote. Much of the left has become so extreme as to sanction condemning 50% of the population who are women, not only as second-class citizens, but with the status of slaves. So I don't believe in the left anymore. I always had a little bit of hope for them because they have some humanitarian objectives, at least they did. But the way they are behaving today, as wanting to basically turn the place into a communist or fascist state, is unacceptable in the extreme to any people who wish to enjoy some personal freedom in their lives and for the lives of their children and grandchildren to come. When I first met Max a couple years ago, I realized here was a politician who was interested in facts and solutions. As an ecologist, I have never before endorsed anyone as a political candidate. Today, I am enthusiastically endorsing Maxime Bernier as someone who will work to heal the country rather than tearing it apart. Thanks to all of you for your support for Max in this crucial juncture for our nation. Let's cast our votes for the People's Party of Canada. Thank you.
Makes me feel more hope for our country just listening to him, doesn't it? Absolutely. So let's give Patrick Moore a warm round of applause for coming out here to do that, because it certainly, I think it means a lot to the movement, it means a lot to our country, and we certainly appreciate him being with us here tonight. Our next guest speaker has spent the better part of his life as well trying to build a better country from us and for us, and it's Randy Hillier. He was an electrician from Ontario. What for some of you farmers may know him as the head of the Landowners Association out of Ontario. He more recently has sort of come to national prominence by being thrown out of caucus by Premier, whatever his name is, and now since then he's been championing the end the lockdowns group, and so please welcome one of Freedom's best friends to Alberta and to Strathmore, Mr. Randy Hillier.
Can I take that off or not? You got me all wide. Thank you muchly. I gotta get up close and personal. I've been going around talking a wee little bit lately. Talking about freedom in Canada. Talking about freedom in the PPC party and Maxime Bernier. So let me see if I can get my voice here tonight. But listen, it's wonderful. Everywhere we go, the crowds are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But as the crowds get bigger, the media keep away. The media keep away, but not the Western Standard, and not the independent media, the mainstream media. And just like governments, they're trying to ignore the call of Canadians for freedom. The mainstream media is ignoring us, trying to ignore us. Our governments are trying to ignore us. Our pollsters are trying to ignore us. That we don't exist. That Canadians don't really want freedom. We just want to live under this narrative of fear and terror and danger that our governments and our media are pushing on us. But it's not true. It's not true. And we're going to see on Monday just how untrue their story is. And I'm going to say, this vote on Monday, some people think that it's just an election, and it's just going to be about who we elect to represent us in the House of Commons. Well, it's far more than that. Far more about. On Monday, we're going to decide if our children and our grandchildren have a future in this country. That's what's at stake on Monday. Monday is not just an election. Monday is a battle and a war for freedom or a war against tyranny or acceptance. And we can see all the major political parties, Trudeau, O'Toole, Singh, the Greens, they're all on one side of they're all invested in this narrative of fear, this wanting to keep you terrorized. They're all in favor of vaccine passports. They're all in favor of mandatory vaccines. And they're all, with O'Toole's announcement last week, they're all in favor of gun control and taking our guns away as well. And then there's one party, and only one party, that stands separate, that stands apart. And that's Maxime Bernier and the PPC party. It stands for freedom. So I know there's a lot of worried conservatives out there. A lot of worried conservatives who were going on with this misinformation about the vote split. I'm going to tell you, there is no vote split. You can either vote for one of those four socialists, or you can vote and split the vote and vote for Maxime and freedom. That's the vote split. Freedom, 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 freedom. And as I said in Toronto yesterday when we were down at a rally at the CBC building, what we know is that freedom beats fear every time. Freedom beats their fear. And we know why this is so important. For 18 months now, our governments and our media and our public health units have been escalating escalating and relentless in telling us a story of lies and falsehoods, right? At first it was 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Then it was a couple more weeks to not overwhelm our hospitals. Then it was stay at home, you're too dangerous. You might get the flu. And then we said, just another lockdown. One lockdown will close everything up. And then they said, well, then let's wear masks all the time. If we all wear masks, then that'll end this COVID madness. And then it was a second lockdown. And in Ontario, a third lockdown. And in most of the country, we closed our borders and we couldn't go see our family members in other provinces. We isolated and confined and put our elderly and our loved ones in a state of fear and terror in their last days of their lives. And then we masked up our little children and kids and said, they're dangerous, they may hurt their siblings, they may kill their moms and dads. Just mask them up a little more. And every time, it just more. Then it was the vaccines. Just take a vaccine. Then it'll be all okay once we get the vaccines. And then, well, then make sure you get 2 vaccines. And now let's make sure you get boosters. And now let's make sure we have vaccine passports. This narrative of fear doesn't end until we end it. This narrative of fear is a political crisis across our country. It's not a health crisis. It never has been. And a political crisis can only be solved in one spot, and that's the ballot box. On Monday, we do our job. We end this narrative of fear. We end this madness. That's how we do it on Monday. And we can see, you can't trust a bloody one of them, can you? In Ottawa or in our provinces. In June, Jason Kenney said, we're going to treat this like the flu, like it is. He said, we're going to open up, never going to lock down again. Right? And then a day or two, yesterday was it? The mandatory vax passport. Right? I think I heard something about Jason Kenney. And he's so fearful of wild rose right now, he's going to ban and delist the wild roses in Alberta's flower, right? And instead he's going to make it the pansy, because that's what he is. He's nothing but a pansy, and he won't stand up, and he's got no backbone. But he's not alone. O'Toole's the same thing. And Doug Ford in Ontario, where I am, a month ago, it would be unconstitutional to have a vaccine passport. Well, on Tuesday, the vaccine passport comes in. Don't trust a bloody one of them. Not a one of them. They're so invested in this narrative of fear, they don't know how to get out of it. There's only one party, only one leader, who's got the courage and the backbone and the integrity to end this narrative of fear. Let's vote for him on Monday. And I'll say this as well. You know, the pollsters are trying to disempower us. The pollsters and the media are trying to say that we don't exist and we're just a fringe group and we can't have any effect on the election. But let me tell you this. By our own government's records, there's 6.5 million Canadians, just like everyone here in this audience. Just like me and you, just like Maxine, like all your candidates, who believe in freedom, who don't believe in vaccine passports. 6.5 million. And we know in the last federal election, Justin Trudeau won that election with 6 million votes. Can we win? You're absolutely bloody right we can win. We get off the couch, get to the polls, put a lawn sign in your yard, help, tell your neighbors, we can win this. We have to win this. This is too big of a battle not to. And I'll say to everyone here, Canadians have faced many, many crises over our history. Huge battles, world wars. But every time we stood together in freedom, we stood up to every crisis, and we never lost once. We always won. Freedom has always won in Canada. And just like how my parents and your parents, my grandparents and your grandparents stood and fought for our freedom, we have to do the same on Monday for our children and our grandchildren. And listen, they faced far bigger odds. They faced real danger, real enemies, real hurt, bombs and bullets. All the left have, all the politicians have, and the media have, is words of shame and scorn and ridicule. Well, I learned a long time ago that sticks and stones may break my bones, but names are never going to hurt me, and they're not going to hurt any of us. No, yeah, I'm not going to go. Thank you, Daniel. So listen, Monday's a big day, a big step, a big leap for all of us, for our children and our grandchildren. But it's not the end of the battle, it's just the beginning of the battle. We've been doing a lot of things wrong in this country for a long time. And we've been on a slippery slope for a long, long time. Monday, we start climbing back up that slippery slope. We start climbing that slippery slope together once again. And I'm going to be climbing that slope with Maxime Bernier, the PPC party, with all of you. And we're going to get back up that hill, back up to the top of that hill where we have the freedom to have our faith, our families, and a future for all of us. Thank you very much. Let's bring up Maxime Bernier. And let's walk up that slippery slope together. Hey.
Strong and free from far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, our land, glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Woo!
Oh my God! What a nice introduction. I want also, just wait. Yes, I want also quote John Diefenbaker in 1960, the 1st of July, Canada Day. He said, and I believe that's why we are here today. John Diefenbaker said, Canada Day, 1st of July, 1960. I'm a Canadian, a free Canadian, free to speak without fear, free to worship God in my own way, free to stand for what I think right, free to oppose what I believe wrong, free to choose those who shall govern my country. This heritage of freedom I pledge to uphold for myself and all mankind. That's what we want to do also. Yes, we are free. And yes, we are here today because we know that without freedom, there's no human dignity, there's no equality of rights, there's no economic prosperity. And we know that freedom is the foundation of our country, of our Western civilization values. That's the fight. That's why this election is an historical election, because we want our country back. And I can tell you, this movement is growing. And next Monday, that will be the beginning of a common sense revolution in our country, a freedom revolution in our country. And we will do that together. Yes. We are at an important point in our history. When we started the campaign a couple of weeks ago, and before that, I was with Randy and other freedom fighters all across the country, fighting for our rights. And when we start the first rally in Montreal, if we had 100 persons, that was the maximum. But you know what? At that time, maybe common sense was not that common. But I can tell you that the last rally in Montreal that I did, we were 55,000 people fighting for our rights. And common sense will be with us. Common sense is with us. Because we believe in you. We don't believe in a big fat government that will tell you what to do with your life. That you must have a vaccine passport. Never. Feminists couple of years ago were telling us, my body, my choice. I can say that right now, yes, my body, my choice. It's our choice. And yes, we believe in you. We believe and we have faith in you. We have faith that you have the ability, the dignity, and the right to make your own decisions and determine your own destiny. That's our country. That's a free country, a free and a democratic country. But now, with Trudeau and O'Toole and all the other politicians, I don't recognize my country anymore. And I can tell you that I had a call from the mainstream media that don't want to cover us because they know that what we are saying, it's powerful when you speak about science, the truth based on facts and common sense. They know that it's powerful, that's why they didn't want to cover us. But they called me. The mainstream media called us when protesters were following Justin Trudeau everywhere, and they were using their words as their weapons, and they were not so happy. So they called me, and they wanted us to condemn that. And I say no. We believe in freedom in this country. We believe in freedom of choice. We believe in freedom of expression. And these Canadians have the right to express their point of view. And they were mad. That's what I said to the mainstream media. They were mad, and they had a reason for that. And I'm mad also today because we are losing our country with these totalitarian politicians that are taking it away from us. Yes, we are mad. And Monday, that will be our day. Because as you know, Justin Trudeau said to the civil servants working for the federal government, you know, if you want to work for the federal government, you need to have your 2 shots, your vaccine passport. And he said, if you don't have your vaccine passport, and I quote, there will be consequences. Translation. He said, I will punish you if you don't have your vaccine passport. I'm telling to Justin Trudeau and O'Toole, we will punish you next Monday. We will punish you. PPC. Yes, we know what we have to do next Monday. They told us, like Randy said, 2 weeks, only 2 weeks to flatten the curve. What I'm telling them, 3 days to flatten the lies. Only 3 days to flatten the lies. Contrary to O'Toole and Trudeau, that they are doing identity politics, racial politics, political correctness, and they are dividing us. They started by race, by gender, and now by vaccination status. We are saying no to that, and what we will do, we will unite Canadians under the freedom umbrella. Because we know that the vaccine passport, it's not based on science, because we know that every Canadian, vaccinated ones or unvaccinated ones, everybody can spread the virus. So why doing segregation? Why doing that segregation? There's no reason. The vaccine works. So if the vaccine works, why I cannot go to a restaurant with another person near me that he is or she is vaccinated? There's no risk. I'm not a danger. I'm just a citizen, and I want everybody to be equal before the law. We believe in equality and in freedom. And more people are coming on our side because they know that we are there to put Canadians first, our country first, and we don't want that discrimination anymore. And I tell you, in Quebec, there's the vaccine passport there. It's in force. I cannot go to a restaurant but I will be able to go to my church. Where is the logic there? There's no logic. Do you believe that there's a lot of viruses in a restaurant and no virus in my church? There's no logic. Do you know why I'm able to go to my church? Because the Catholic Church was very efficient at doing their lobbying to the provincial government. That's only a lobby question. It's not based on science. And I can tell you, since they imposed that vaccine passport in Quebec, we have more people that are fed up. They don't want to live in a show me your papers society. They don't want to live under a communist country. And don't forget, here in Alberta, Jason Kenney said that he's giving all his support to O'Toole. I know why. Because yes, Kenney and O'Toole share the same point of view on imposing a vaccine passport. Kenney will do that to you here in Alberta, and O'Toole is okay with that. And so that will be everywhere in Canada, that vaccine passport, because O'Toole is okay to spend $1 billion to give that to provinces to be sure that these provinces will impose a vaccine passport on us. I'm saying no to that here in Alberta. I'm saying no to that everywhere. Everywhere. We need to do that common sense revolution. Because you know, like me, when tyranny becomes law, revolution becomes our duty. It is our duty. And you can count on us, all our candidates across the country, and myself. We will always fight for what we believe. We will always use our words. Like I said to the police when they arrested me in Manitoba after a rally, a gathering in a park, as you know, has been arrested, handcuffed, and put in jail for a non-crime after a political gathering. But what I said to that police at that time, when he asked me, do you have any weapons? Do you have anything that can hurt me? I said, no. Weapons? No. Only my words, only my philosophy. And as you can see, I'm using my weapons now and all during this campaign, and our words are very efficient. They are very efficient, and I want to thank you because you're doing the same thing. This political movement is growing not because of the mainstream media, but because of you. You are helping us. You are fighting for you. You are fighting for your children. You are fighting to keep our country like it was before COVID-19. It's not the mainstream media, but the real independent media, True North, Rebel, Western Standard, they are there to tell the truth based on facts. And I know that CBC, they're very scared about their future because they know. CBC, they know what we will do after this election. We can save $1 billion by cutting the CBC, and we will do it. No more propaganda. And so, when I'm saying that, when I'm speaking about our values in New Brunswick, in Atlantic Canada, here in Alberta, and in BC, it's not only former conservative voters that are coming with us. It's people who voted Liberals, NDP, that are coming because they know, like you, like me, that this election, it's all about our freedom and our way of life. That's why we are growing, and that's why this election, Monday, won't be the end. It will only be a new beginning, because you can count on me. I'm doing my best to be back in Parliament, and we will have a freedom voice. I don't know how many candidates will be elected, but I can tell you we'll have some candidates that will be with me in Ottawa in Parliament, and we will have a freedom voice, a common sense voice in Parliament. But I will need you, and I will be with you after that election. Yes, I'll be in the street, and if we need to do no more protests, I'll be there with you in the street, and our team will be with you in the street to protest. Because we know what may be the result. The result may be a minority government, liberals or conservative. That's the same thing. That will be the same thing. O'Toole and Trudeau are the same. I call them the Lib-Con party or the Con-Lib party with one leader, Justin O'Toole. They're the same. They're the same on the most important issue for the country, our freedom and our unity. O'Toole doesn't want to speak about pipelines. He doesn't want to speak about the equalization formula, to be less generous and having a new formula that would be fair for every province. He doesn't want to speak. And what he's doing is taking your vote for granted. That's what he's doing here in Alberta. But you know what to do. Don't waste your vote next Monday. And I believe that a lot of Albertans won't waste their vote. They will vote for their values. They will vote for their country. Thank you. Yes. We will be there. And also, O'Toole and Trudeau, you know, they're the same on balancing the budget. Can you believe a conservative party that is supposed to be conservative, but that party is only conservative in name? O'Toole said that he will balance the budget in 10 years. But the most interesting, in the debate in French, I will translate that, but because I'm pretty sure that he won't tell you that in English to you here. I must admit, his French was not too bad. But what he said in French, when he had a question about balancing the budget, the journalist said, how will you do that? And you know, that was a long answer, a long political answer, and you have to listen. What is the answer? You have to listen until the end. And the journalist asked again, because he was not happy with the answer. How will you balance the budget? And O'Toole said, without cuts, without cuts. So what he said the same thing that Justin Trudeau said a couple of years ago. The budget balance itself. That's what he said. It won't happen. It won't happen. You need to have the courage of your conviction and tell the truth to Canadians. That's what you need to do. And we know what to do to be able to balance a budget in 4 years. We will do what we have to do. Yes, we'll cut the CBC. Yes, we will cut. We will cut foreign aid. We can save 5 billion there. You know, the agenda, the UN agenda, is it 2030 or 2040? Or I don't mind, I don't care. We will work on our own agenda for the sovereignty of our country. We are saying no to the UN, a dysfunctional organization, no to the UN Compact on Migration, and like Patrick said, no to the Paris Accord. We won't impose a carbon tax. Actually, the climate is always changing. What we need to change is the climate of the public opinion. That's our goal. That's the only climate that we will change, all together. So, they're the same. And now, O'Toole is telling you, and he called everybody in Alberta, you know, the line now, what you must say to the media. A vote for the PPC is a vote for Trudeau. Can you really believe? Can you really believe that if you vote for our PPC candidate here, that you will end up with a liberal that will win in your riding? They won't be able, Trudeau won't be able to elect a liberal in Alberta. So a vote for the PPC, it's a vote for yourself. It's a vote for your values. It's a vote for the future of our country. And some people may say, you know, Maxime, the freedom ideas are not that popular today. Oh yes, there's a silent majority out there that they're looking at you, they're looking at us. They know that they don't like the direction of our country now with more socialism, but they don't have the courage to come in our rallies or to speak out about what they believe. But I can tell you that silent majority next Monday will be with us, and that's why we will be able to win that battle of ideas. And I can tell you that at the end of this campaign, when my team asked me, okay, Maxime, this is your agenda for the campaign, where do you want to end your campaign? And I said, here in Alberta. Because, yes, in the beginning of my political career in 2007, I jumped into politics in 2006 at 43 years old. But at that time, when I was minister under Harper, I was speaking about freedom and free market and less government intervention in our life. And a journalist from the Global Mail wrote a piece on me at that time, and he said, Bernier is the Albertan from Quebec. And when he said that, I was very proud, and that's why I like to use that. Yeah, because we share the same values. You know, like me, that government is not the solution. The government is the problem, and our politicians are the problems. And you know, with a smaller government in Ottawa, that will give you more freedom, that will give to your province more autonomy by respecting the Constitution. You know, the country united, because O'Toole won't speak in Eastern Canada about Western alienation. For him, you know, that will be able, where we will be able to live our life and do what we want to do without more government control, without more tyranny, and that will be the question. And I believe that a lot of Canadians will choose freedom. No, they're going to say no to government control, more freedom, and no more government control. That's the question of this election. So, yeah. Merci. Thank you. So I count on you. And I'm very pleased to be here and finish my campaign here with you in Alberta. Don't forget, we still have 3 days. We still have 3 days. And there's still some Canadians that don't know there's another option here, our option. Because I believe that they know that all the other options suck, but we are the only option for this country and for you and for Canadians. And if you are following me, you know how I end my speech, and I will end that little speech with the same quote that I like from John F. Kennedy. The quote that he said in 1961, 1 year after the one that I started my speech from John Diefenbaker, 1960, Kennedy in 1961 at his inauguration speech after being elected. And what he said at that time, I like that quote because that quote is very actual for today. And we are living now here in Canada in the same situation that they had at that time in the US. And Kennedy said, in the long history of the world, only few generations have been taking the role of defending freedom in its maximum hour of danger. You are that generation. This is your role. And now is the time. Now is the time. Let's live strong and free. I count on you. You can count on us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Maxime. Thank you.
Freedom, 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 freedom.
Does yes we can come to mind? Yes we can. Thank you very much. Give him another round of applause. Thank you, Maxime. But what can you do? Thank you. I think Maxime has certainly inspired us, but we've got 72 hours. You can tell by Maxime and Randy's voices that they're not leaving anything on the table, but we don't, or anything on the field, as the saying goes. We don't want you to do that either. So what can you do in the next 72 hours? You can, if some of you may have got an email from us saying Forward for Freedom, what you can do is go to the People's Party of Canada.ca website and take some of these messages, forward your candidate's name to your friends. And one of the things that works well is texting. Take the COVID policy and text it to your friends. And if your friends text you back and tell you that they're not interested in politics, call them back and tell them, my grandpa wasn't interested in war either, but he went twice so we could have a better life. And Maxime is at war for us, and I think you can help with that war. Kelly, what do you think? Yes, we're gonna do some pictures up here. Don't go away. I'm talking about texting to your friends.